Hi there and welcome to Apple World. What's happening with Sha Diddy Combs? And for what reason is the amusement world in complete shock as an ever-increasing number of allegations against the music tycoon become exposed? The story just continues to get more contorted. We've all seen VIP outrages before, yet this one, it's on one more level. We should pass on into it. Arrested Sha Diddy Combs. He's found in this video entering the Park Hyatt lodging in Midtown Manhattan with others when specialists from country security examinations approach and separate him. They spot Combs under capture and lead him out the front entryway in cuffs. Leading Diddy's mother, Janice Smalls, is standing up, and kid is she irate in a closed-to-home explanation. She communicated how crushed she is by the allegations against her child and who could fault her. She portrayed the entirety circumstance as a public ing demanding that her child is being made a decision about in light of falsehoods. Instead of reality, you can simply feel the crude feeling in the most natural-sounding way for her, can't you? She's watching her child's standing get destroyed progressively, and as indicated by her, it's all important for some arranged crusade against him. Diddy's mother has at last stood up in the midst of everything that is occurring right now. Janice Smalls gave an assertion to some outlets by means of her lawyer, so she begins off by saying it's extremely unfortunate to see her child judged not for reality, but rather for a story made out of falsehoods. However, Janice isn't simply agitated about the claims themselves. It's the sheer size, all things considered, that is truly hitting her hard. This isn't simply a small bunch of allegations. We're discussing a flood of cases with new subtleties arising consistently. And it's not only a couple of individuals pointing fingers. Many asserted casualties are approaching, and they're portraying DA's life that no one would have anticipated that mothers going should continuously ride over their infants. CU get sister 100 years for 27 million individuals. Furthermore, they'll resemble, however, that is my child. He's not the individual. You all double-crossed him. To be definitely. You reference. CD, you have his day in court and talking spee. Furthermore, and you realize that the you revealed that his lawyer said, did he is going to stand up. I'm very trying to sort out the thing. Is he going to say, like, how would you? We should not fail to remember that Diddy has been an apparatus in the music industry for quite a long time, from his initial days creating hits to turning into a family name with his own collections record mark. Also, business domain, he's forever been amazing. Yet, now that bigger Han life picture is disentangling and the stories coming out are completely stunning. You realize, I think, in government court, and for these charges, they would say if routine, yet in the public domain this is exceptionally huge, just from who we partner Diddy being and all that we've seen him do over the many years. Like you said, this is an incredible ruin to go from. I mean, we saw the houses back in spring that were assaulted by the federal authorities, so to go from living in those chateaus to being and here's where things get truly muddled. We're not simply discussing individuals making claims from a couple of years prior. This returns many years. These claims range north of 25 years, with tales about Diddy's conduct arising out of all sides of the amusement world. And in addition, upsetting is that a large number of these allegations appear to follow a comparable design. There are claims that people were being forced, controlled, and, surprisingly, exploited in manners that are difficult to accept for somebody who was once hailed as a pioneer in the business. The bits of hearsay are that Diddy was running some sort of Epstein-type bargain where he was shooting everyone. Right, that is the bits of hearsay. Better believe it. I don't realize that there's any confirmation of something besides that. Currently, how about we talk about what's truly filling this fire? The mounting proof and declarations. It's not simply bits of hearsay drifting around. A few serious subtleties are being introduced with supposed casualties, portraying circumstances that appear to be nearly prearranged out of a Hollywood spine chiller. Individuals are saying that Diddy's extravagant way of life wasn't about the allure and glitz in the background. They guarantee there were more obscure things happening. A few reports, indeed, even proposed there were confidential accounts tapes that might actually totally expose what is going on. Can you envision what's on those tapes if the bits of hearsay are valid? They could include other significant famous people. You must ponder, are there stowed away skeletons that may drag more individuals down with incredibly troublesome and lascivious charges, including claims that Combs had cameras all through and discussing different vibes. Diddy's binds to them are being put under the magnifying instrument. Jay-Z and Beyonce for occurrence have thought of themselves as in the crossfire because of some beautiful, preposterous cases made by vocalist Panther. Rights claims, which were made on the Piers Morgan show, left everybody dazed. She ventured to say that Diddy, as well as Jay-Z and Beyonce as well, had casualties, and were important for something a lot greater insane, right? Jay-Z has been incapable of his quietness since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you believe that? Since that is what he does, he lights little fires wherever powers are required to proceed to divert water, while he sneaks without a reaction. The changes now. Seen well, Jay-Z and Beyonce were not having it. Their legitimate group acted very quickly. Piers Morgan, who's no outsider to contention himself, needed to release an open acknowledgement, saying their legal advisors reached out to us to say that those claims were absolutely bogus and have no premise. As a matter of fact, he even confessed to altering out pieces of Panther W's interview, something his show seldom does for a show that values being uncensored. This was no joking matter. Furthermore, they made this stride softly. Morgan fundamentally said that circulating those allegations would have been like shouting fire in a jam-packed theater, legitimately hazardous and morally sketchy. The Carters obviously weren't going to allow their names to get hauled through the mud easily. There is no justification for me on the grounds that for 4 years I've been shouting, not simply Diddy. Be that as it may, Diddy and Jay-Z are beasts, and the casualty-making machine continued onward. However, here's the kicker. This fight in court isn't just about closing down misleading reports. Alex Spo, Jay-Z's legal advisor, proceeded to censure the entirety of the interview, calling it rubbish and blaming Morgan for intensifying falsehoods that muffled the voices of genuine casualties. That is a weighty allegation on the off chance that you consider it. Maybe he's saying Morgan's show turned out to be essential for the issue, removing consideration from genuine issues you should answer. You have no decision. Steve Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sha Combs shares one individual for all intents and purposes, expertly and secretly. Seen harder, Sparrow made it clear that in the event that Morgan hadn't pulled those claims, they were prepared to take things to court. And might you at any point fault them during a time where notorieties can be obliterated with a couple of snaps? Nobody needs to be related to bogus cases like these that many individuals have been addressing. She doesn't actually have the foggiest idea about him. She has no information on him. She doesn't have an image with him. I'm more brilliant than Claudia Jordan. I would never snap a photo with the villain. Everybody realized he was Satan. He's been Satan for 30 years at this point, despite the fact that Jay-Z and Beyonce appear to have moved away from Diddy's show. Their associations with him can't be disregarded throughout the long-term. Jay-Z and Diddy worked together on various occasions, and we should not fail to remember the famous white gatherings Diddy through Jay-Z was a successive visitor co-facilitating somewhere around one of them, and these gatherings weren't simply any get-togethers. They were the stuff of legend gone to by each and every individual who was anybody in the amusement world. Despite the fact that Beyonce was reputed to be on the visitor show, it appears she stayed away from the more shocking parts of Diddy's way of life, or possibly that individuals accept. Be that as it may, with the state of affairs unwinding, who can say for sure what could surface next? Having someone not too masculine ask like counsel, and just things that you would inquire your dad. Likewise, additionally, things that you would celebrate with him, that would make him pleased. My dad was a hawker, and if that wasn't all sufficient, we should talk about how inescapable these cases against Diddy truly are. The sheer number of supposed casualties is staggering. We're discussing hundreds, perhaps great many people who are beginning to talk out, large numbers of whom say they've remained quiet for a really long time out of dread or terrorizing that. By itself, paints a pretty bleak image of what could have been happening in the background. The unique lodging unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, and that implies that any development inside that unit is controlled and composed. Also, no prisoner moves beyond his cell without being in full limitations to incorporate leg irons, binds, a tummy chain, and something like 2 in the event that not 3 staff individuals assorting them yet. How did this all stay hush for such a long time? How can somebody with this much impact keep such a huge embarrassment from detonating sooner? Some trust it's on account of the colossal power Diddy has employed over the course of the years. When you have that much cash, popularity, and associations, envisioning that people are not hard would be hesitant to go facing you. Indeed, even the individuals who might have seen or experienced things firsthand could have felt like they had no real option except to keep tranquil, and that are not hard would be hesitant to go facing you. Indeed, even the individuals who might have seen or experienced things firsthand could have felt like they had no real option except to keep tranquil, and that is a contributor to the issue with power elements in the amusement industry, isn't it? When somebody comes to D's degree of notoriety, it very well may be almost difficult to consider them responsible up to this point. Basically, it's simply fascinating to me that with all the cash he has and every one of the assets he has, they proved unable to make some arrangement that leaves him alone under some type of house capture. Subscribe Apple World for more videos.